You are not just damaging your own name. You are weakening the foundation our ancestors built, and that I will not allow.
I understand.
1 year. Find a wife, settle down, show me you can change, or I will cut you off completely.
I understand.
Where are you viewing from? If this story held your attention, please like and subscribe for more stories like this.
Oh yeah, let's start from the beginning. Tunde was 26, the youngest of 5 children. Handsome, tall, athletic. You paid attention when he entered a room. He could get any woman he wanted, even if she was someone else's. It made you feel extraordinary. You felt chosen. When he got what he wanted, Tunde did not argue. He did not fight. He simply disappeared. But this time, he took it too far with his best friend's bride-to-be. The scandal had broken the internet. Now, he was on his way home to face his father. By the time Tunde Roberts returned to Nigeria from America, Naija Twitter had already passed judgment. Heartless, wickedness in high places, Yoruba demon. The verdict was unanimous. Tunde had slept with his friend's bride the night before the wedding. His friend caught them and posted pictures on social media. 2 days later, Tunde was on a flight back to Nigeria. Chief Roberts was waiting for him in the garden room of the family's Ikoyi mansion. The house was massive, pristine white, hidden behind high walls, trimmed hedges and armed guards. The Roberts family had money, 3 generations deep, oil, shipping, banking. Chief Roberts did not shout when Tunde entered. He did not lecture. Instead, he studied his son quietly. His voice was calm and steady, the kind of calm that comes from a man who has already made his decision. "You are not just damaging your own name, Tunde," he said. "You are weakening the foundation our ancestors built, and that I will not allow." The silence that followed was heavier than shouting. Then came the ultimatum. 1 year. Find a wife. Settle down. Show me you can change. Chief Roberts paused. Or I will cut you off completely. He let the words sit. Tunde left the house with his chest tight, not from shame. He was not built that way, but from fear. He had 1 year to fix this. For 2 months after his return, Tunde kept a low profile. He stayed out of the headlines, moved quietly. He dated far outside his usual social circle, women with modest lives and big dreams. He spoke about commitment and wanting a future. He made each woman feel chosen. He brought them to the Ikoyi mansion. The wealth did the talking for him. To these women, he was not just handsome. It was an opportunity. They fell fast. They gave themselves fully. Tunde encouraged it. He showered them with expensive gifts. Each believed she was wifey. Each thought she had won. And each met the same ending. Calls unanswered. Messages left unread. Then, finally, a text. "I really like you," he wrote, "but I don't think I am good enough for you." Nothing more. No explanation. 4 months had now passed since his father's ultimatum, and Tunde was no closer to finding a wife. One afternoon, Tunde was at a friend's house on Banana Island. There was a swimming pool, music, girls, the usual. His phone buzzed. His father. Tunde looked at the screen and ignored it. A few seconds later, it rang again. He still did not answer. Then a message came through. "Tunde, This is your father. Call me now. Now. Tunde stepped away from the noise and called back. Where are you? His father asked. Chief Adetunji is here with me. He wants to speak to you. Before Tunde could ask questions, his voice came through, smooth, authoritative. Hello, Tunde, my son. Your father says you have a new technology for logistics. I have a problem with my current logistics in South Africa. Come to my house tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We'll discuss it. It wasn't a question. Of course, sir. See you tomorrow, sir, Tunde said. The line went dead. The next day, Tunde arrived at Chief Adetunji's mansion. The driveway alone looked like a car show. A Rolls Royce, a Bentley, several Mercedes, black SUVs lined up neatly. He was a Lagos legend, a billionaire playboy, married for 35 years. He had children everywhere, 5 legitimate, some complicated. Years earlier, when a tabloid exposed 5 children he had fathered with a married woman, he did not deny it. He ordered DNA tests. After that, it was DNA or nothing. No drama, no shame. The chief's assistant met Tunde at the door. Good afternoon, Mr. Tunde, she said. The chief is finishing a call. Please wait in the sitting room. Thank you, Hilda, Tunde replied. He sat down. Jonah, Hilda called out. Please get Mr. Tunde a drink. Jonah was pouring a glass of juice when Tunde saw her coming down the staircase. Amaka. She was elegantly dressed, moving with slow, unhurried grace. Each step was smooth, almost floating. When she reached the bottom, their eyes met. Just for a second, a small, knowing smile touched her lips. Then she walked down the corridor. The room felt different after she passed. He leaned toward Jonah. Who is that? He asked quietly. Jonah shrugged. That is Amaka, sir. Tunde was driving home after a 3-hour meeting, after contracts were signed, after the deal was secured. Tunde barely remembered any of it. His mind was still on Amaka. That look, that smile. He needed to see. He needed to see her again. Amaka was in the kitchen, washing dishes. She was still wearing the elegant dress, her madame's dress. Amaka liked to play dress up in her madame's clothes when she traveled, and Jonah indulged her because the transformation never ceased to amaze him. Jonah stood across the counter, leaning back with his arms folded, watching her. That Oga Pikin that came today. Amaka's hand slowed, just slightly. The chief's son from America. Yes? He asked me about you. She rinsed a plate carefully. What did you tell him? I told him your name is Amaka. She paused. Is that all? He looked impressed, Jonah added. The man no know say you be ordinary house girl. There was something in the way he said it. Jealousy, small bitterness. Amaka's jaw tightened. For a brief moment, she imagined throwing the plate at him, but the feeling passed. Something else took its place. Clarity. So Tunde did not know who she was. He had seen her, assumed, filled in the gaps himself. And in that quiet moment, Amaka understood the color of her opportunity. Amaka was 24. She was raised in Abo by a single hard-working mother. Her father died of typhoid when she was 10. Her mother raised her and her 6 siblings with the small income she made selling tomatoes and pepper in the market. There was no safety net, no spare money, no room for failure. Amaka learned early to be responsible. She studied hard and earned a first-class degree in accountancy from the University of Benin. She believed that would change everything. After graduation, she applied for jobs everywhere: banks, firms, offices. 1 year passed, nothing came. Then her cousin mentioned a housemaid job in Warri, a returnee family, Mr. and Mrs. Sharo. Amaka did not hesitate. A job was a job. At the interview, the wife asked the usual questions. Can you cook? Can you clean? Can you do laundry? Then she paused, studying the form in her hand. You have a first-class degree in accountancy. Why do you want to be a housemaid? Amaka answered without drama. I have 6 siblings to support, ma. The wife nodded. She was not hiring an accountant. She was hiring someone to run a house. Kate Sharo was an IT project manager. Her husband worked for an oil company and had recently been transferred back to the Warri refinery. They lived in a large house with 3 kids. Amaka threw herself into her duties. She cooked, she cleaned, she washed clothes, she looked after 3 children. She woke up at 5 in the morning and slept close to midnight. Then one afternoon, Kate called her into the office. Help me organize these files when you have a moment. It was simple. Amaka finished quickly. A week later, it was something else. Can you check these numbers for me when you have time? Then it became, please find the error in this spreadsheet. She fixed every problem. Her pay did not change. Now she had 2 jobs: housemaid by day, unpaid, office assistant by night. The breaking point came quietly. One afternoon, Amaka was cleaning the office. Kate's laptop was open. An email sat on the screen. A client was sending an additional £2,000. A thank you. The message praised a solution that had saved them far more. Amaka had created that solution. She had stayed up until 2 in the morning fixing it. Kate's reply was polite, professional, grateful. She took full credit, and the money, of course. Amaka stood there, dust cloth in her hand. Something settled inside her. Cold, clear, still. Her eyes drifted down. Under the laptop was a notepad. Email addresses, account numbers, passwords, security details. She did not hesitate. She took out her phone and she took a picture. After that day, Amaka began to observe more carefully. Whenever Kate's laptop was unlocked, Amaka logged into accounts, read emails, studied documents. She traced the flow of money, regular transfers, standing orders, patterns that repeated themselves. It made sense to her. Within a week, she understood the structure. She did not rush. Amaka was careful. She took only what she believed she was owed, for the work she had done, for the credit she never received. Small amounts, spread out, over 3 months, 16.5 million naira in total. When she was ready to leave, she planned it properly. She practiced her voice, soft, worried, respectful. My father is very ill, she told Kate. I need to go home for a few days. Kate frowned, already calculating the inconvenience. Who will take care of the children, she asked, and the house? Amaka lowered her eyes. I'll be back quickly, ma. She left on a Monday. She returned on Friday. My father's condition is worse, she said, tears in her eyes. I need to go home and help my mother. I won't be able to come back. Kate nodded, distracted. Amaka left the following week. She never returned. She left Warri with more than money. She left with understanding. Hard work alone meant nothing. Most of all, she had learned something valuable: the power of being invisible. Her next job came through an agency. She had also made one more change. She was no longer a graduate. She was now a full-time housemaid. This time in Port Harcourt, the next opportunity presented itself by accident. A madam was on a video call with a man who was not her husband. Her top half was naked, the door half open. Amaka took pictures. No one noticed her. 2 months later, she sent the photos from an unregistered number. She demanded 20 million naira, payment in 7 weekly installments, silence or exposure. 7 weeks later, the money was complete. When it was time to leave, the story was familiar. My father, she said softly, he has taken a turn. She lowered her eyes. She parked quietly. She left without suspicion. Different cities, different houses, different secrets. In Akwa Ibom, Amaka worked for a woman who loved her husband in public and loved another man in private. The money came in weekly installments. When it was complete, Amaka left quietly, a dying father. In Abuja, it was worse. A politician's wife sleeping with 2 houseboys. 50 million naira bought silence. 10 weeks later, Amaka disappeared again, dressed in grief. By the time she reached Kaduna, Amaka was no longer guessing. She was calculating. The stakes were higher. The politician had a secret room, bundles of pound notes stacked neatly. From her estimate, it was worth over 5 million in cash, plus he was sleeping with his teenage houseboy. She asked for 30,000 pounds. She had pictures. She knew where secrets lived. She knew how careless powerful people could be. She knew exactly how much fear was worth. And most importantly, she had perfected her exit. The sick father, the dutiful daughter, it never failed. With the money, Amaka changed her family's life. Her mother and siblings moved out of their cramped house into a safer apartment. Her mother opened a proper store in the market. No more sun, no more rain. School fees were paid on time. Food was steady. For the first time, Amaka felt control. She saw it clearly now. The rich were not careful. They were reckless. They hid their secrets badly, and they assumed people like her did not see. Amaka saw everything. By the time Amaka arrived in Lagos, her persona was complete. She had practiced it several times. A shabby uniform of humility, cheap wigs, old and tired. Her skin stayed dry for days, unmoisturized, rough on purpose. Her clothes came from the second-hand market. Nothing fitted properly. Nothing stood out. Amaka was dangerous. That night, she lay on her bed with her phone in hand. She searched for Tunde Roberts, Yoruba demon, endless scandals. She scrolled quietly. He was desperate, image damaged. He was looking for redemption, and that made him the perfect mark. The next morning, Jonah found her in the kitchen. "Amaka," he said, grinning. "That Oga Pikin came back again. He said he forgot his wallet." Amaka laughed. They both knew there was no wallet. "Where is he?" she asked. "At the gate." "Tell him to come inside," she said calmly. "Help him search. Offer him something cold to drink." She went straight to Madam's wardrobe, picked an expensive wrap dress, and within 15 minutes, she was transformed. Tunde heard her footsteps as she came down the stairs. When he turned, she smiled, surprised. "Oh, hello," she said lightly. "You were here yesterday?" "I can't find my wallet," he said. "I'm retracing my steps." "Ah, I see," she replied, as if she believed him. Behind them, Jonah pretended to search for the wallet. Oga, I don't think your wallet is here, he said. Tunde nodded, pretending to be disappointed. I'll check the car again. But he did not move. He was still looking at Amaka. Why haven't I seen you here before? He asked. She laughed softly. Because I don't come here often. My mom lives in Port Harcourt. She watched his face closely, watched the moment it clicked. Chief Adetunji's daughter. That explained everything. So you are Chief's daughter, Tunde said. Yes, she replied simply. Can I ask you out for dinner? Amaka hesitated. Just long enough. You can, she said, but I'll need to call you. I have to check my schedule. Tunde was stunned. Women did not make him wait, but he recovered quickly. Of course, he said, I'll be expecting your call. He walked away confused. Jonah burst out laughing the moment he was gone. Amaka, did you see his face? The man came for wallet and left with confusion. They both laughed. Amaka did not call him that day or the day after. She let the silence stretch long enough for curiosity to turn into concern, long enough for interest to harden into need. When she finally called, her voice was calm, unhurried, as if she had many options. They agreed to dinner. She set the terms. I don't want Lagos to know I'm Chief's daughter, she said. I'm a private person. Tunde agreed immediately. He agreed to everything. On the date, Amaka dressed simply, elegant, understated, nothing loud, nothing desperate. Tunde, on the other hand, was flamboyant. That evening, he talked. He talked about himself, about his work, about his past, about the scandal. He explained, he justified, he defended. Amaka listened. She asked questions that made him feel understood. She nodded at the right moment, paused when he needed space. She made him feel safe. He felt seen. Tunde did not notice the way she guided the conversation. He did not notice how she avoided details about herself. But one thing was different. He was open and honest with her, something he never did. By the end of the night, something had shifted. Tunde was falling. One afternoon, Amaka was getting ready to see Tunde. She was wearing one of Madame's expensive dresses, hair done, makeup light but careful. Jonah knocked urgently on her door. Amaka, he whispered sharply. Madame is back. What? She gasped. Madame was not due back for another day. Amaka did not think. She reacted. She tore off the wig and shoved it into the wardrobe, wiped the makeup from her face, pulled on her faded housemaid dress. By the time she reached the kitchen, she was invisible again. Madame entered the house, issuing orders before her shoes were off. Amaka, make me some herbal tea. Yes, madame, she replied calmly, but her mind was racing. Tunde was waiting. Her phone was upstairs. She could not reach it. That evening, when she finally checked her phone, her heart sank. 7 missed calls, all from Tunde. She texted him immediately. Sorry about earlier. Family emergency came up. I had to deal with it. I'll explain when I see you. The next morning, Madame called her. Take this Ashebi to Chief Roberts' house. His wife is expecting it. Amaka's stomach dropped. Tunde's house. Yes, madame, she said quietly. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Tunde was calling. She silenced it. The driver pulled into the Roberts mansion in Ikoyi. A staff member met them at the door. Madame is waiting, she said. Amaka followed, clutching the Ashebi. Her heart was pounding. If Tunde saw her like this, it was over. Housemaid dress, bare face, her cornrow was over 3 months old. Chief Roberts' wife sat in the living room, examining the ashebi. She barely looked at Amaka. Amaka stood near the door, still. Then she heard his voice. "Mom?" From upstairs. Footsteps followed, coming down. Amaka dashed into the small toilet near the entrance, locked the door. Her breath came shallow. Through the door, she heard him. "Did the ashebi arrive?" "Yes," his mother replied. "Folakemi's housemaid just brought it." Tunde's phone buzzed. A text from Amaka. "Hi, baby. Sorry I missed your call earlier. I was really busy. Please come over now." He smiled. "I'm coming now," he texted back. He turned to his mother. "I have to go. Something came up." The footsteps moved away. The front door closed. Amaka waited, counted slowly, then slipped out. Chief Roberts' wife was still focused on the fabric, speaking Yoruba to herself. She had not noticed Amaka had left and returned. "Tell your madam I'll call her later," she said, without looking up. "Yes, ma," Amaka replied. Outside, her legs shook as she entered the car. As soon as they drove off, she called Tunde. He answered immediately. "Tunde, sorry baby. Chief asked me to follow him out," she said. "Can I call you tomorrow?" She ended the call. Tunde was already on the way, stuck in traffic, confused, but he shrugged it off. Chief was a demanding father. That night, Amaka did not sleep. The images replayed in her mind. Tunde, his mother, the locked toilet door. It had been too close, too careless. Her double life was beginning to fray. She had built something complex. This was unsustainable. If she waited too long, it would collapse on its own. She needed to move. The next day, she called Tunde. Her voice was thin, carefully worried. "Can we meet today?" she asked. "It's important." Tunde picked her up within the hour. He took her to Aquila, a restaurant he liked for its private dining rooms. When she walked in, he noticed Amaka looked exhausted. They sat across from each other. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Tell me." Amaka looked down at her hands. "Tunde," she said quietly, "I can't stay in my father's house anymore." He leaned forward. "My stepmother," she continued. "She is always trying to get into my business, like she is my mom. I have one already. I don't need two." He frowned. "What does that mean?" he asked. "I want to go back to Port Harcourt, to my own mother." "When?" he asked. "Sometime this week." He reached across the table and took her hand.
"Don't do this," he said quickly. "Don't leave. Move in with me instead. I have space. You'll be comfortable." She looked at him, saw the fear underneath the concern. "Tunde," she said carefully, "I can't just move in with you. We are not married. My father will kill me." He was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood. "We'll fix it," he said. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Amaka's breath caught. "Marry me," he said. He opened the box. The diamond caught the light. Large, expensive, urgent, unexpected. Tunde had been walking around with the ring, planning the perfect marriage proposal. But after Amaka's revelation, he could not afford to lose her. She looked at the ring. She did not see this coming. Her surprise was genuine. She looked at his face, at the way he watched her, as though she were the answer to everything he had ever searched for. She smiled softly. "Yes," she said. He slipped the ring onto her finger, his hands careful, his eyes intent. Then he told her to wait. He stepped outside to speak in low tones to the waiter, asking that no one disturb them. When he returned, he closed the door gently, sealing them into their own small, awkwardly romantic world. He walked to her. Among linen tablecloths and fading music from the main restaurant, he gathered her into his arms and made love to her. Later that night, back at Tunde's place, he held her close. "This is real," he said. "This is actually happening." "It is," Amaka replied. She meant it differently. They fell asleep in each other's arms. Over the next few days, she raised the subject about the living arrangements. Tunde looked at her, already bracing himself. "I'd like my own place," she continued, "just for a little while, until the wedding." He frowned. "What do you mean? We're engaged now. I want you here." "I know," she said softly, "and I want to be, but I haven't told my father about us yet." She paused, choosing her words. "I don't want to disrespect him." It was a perfect lie. Clean, believable. Tunde understood immediately. He wanted her father's blessing. He needed it. He hesitated, only briefly. "Okay," he said, "but I want you close, somewhere I can see you." "Victoria Island," she said, quiet, secure, discreet. 3 days later, Tunde handed her the keys to a fully furnished apartment. "This is ours," he said, "our future." Amaka stood in the middle of the living room, the keys cold in her palm. The future had started, just not the one he imagined. 1 week after the proposal from, Amaka started on her exit plan. She did not rush it. She let it grow. "My father's condition has gotten worse," she told Madam one morning. "He needs me full-time now. I have to move back home to Abo." Madam sighed, not with sympathy, with inconvenience. "When?" she asked. "In 3 days," Amaka replied. The sick father, the worried daughter. It was familiar now, and it still worked. Amaka moved out of Chief Adetunji's house. No arguments, no suspicion, no questions. She packed quietly, folded her uniforms, left the compound the same way she had entered it, invisible. But this time, something was different. She did not return to another house. She did not take another uniform. Instead, she got rid of her housemaid persona and had a complete do-over. A brand new wardrobe. Well, she no longer had access to Madam's wardrobe. She was done being invisible. By early August, Amaka was fully settled in her Victoria Island flat. To Tunde, she had left Chief Adetunji's house to escape a nosy stepmother. To the Adetunji family, she had left to care for a dying father. Both stories held. Neither raised suspicion. Everything looked perfectly normal. One afternoon, Tunde was at her flat when her phone rang. She glanced at the screen and stood up. "Excuse me," she said, "I need to take this." She stepped into the bedroom and closed the door. Her voice drifted out, calm, professional. When she returned, she looked composed, like someone who had just handled serious work. "Everything okay?" Tunde asked. "Yes," she replied easily. "Just a client in London, getting anxious about his portfolio." She said it casually. Over the next few weeks, the calls continued to come in when Who was there. She was always talking to her clients about investments and portfolios. 5 million here, 12 million there. One evening, curiosity got the better of him. How much do you actually manage? He asked. She paused, as if calculating. Roughly 900 million at the moment, she said, but it changes. And is it profitable? He asked. It can be, she said carefully, but it's risky. Last year, I had clients who lost over 80 million. She did not sell it. She warned him. That made it sound real. A few days later, he brought it up again. She responded reluctantly. I don't usually involve people I care about, she said, but I trust you.
She did not answer immediately. She let the silence do the work. I want to try, he said finally. She studied his face. Then we start small, she said. Very small. Just to prove the system works. How much? He asked. 46 million naira, she said. Nothing that will break you if things go wrong. Within a week, Tunde had the money ready. Tunde made the transfer without drama. 46 million naira. He double checked the account number, the bank, the name, all written on a piece of paper. No text or screenshots. Then he pressed send. The money left his account just like that. For the next 3 days, Tunde could not settle. He checked his phone constantly, checked his bank app, checked his messages. Amaka remained calm. Relax, she told him. This is normal. On the third day, his phone buzzed. A bank alert. He opened it slowly. 60 million naira, 50,874 naira. His account had been credited. 14 million naira profit in 3 days. Tunde stared at the screen, refreshed it, checked again. The numbers did not change. He called her immediately. Amaka, he said, did you see the transfer? I did, she replied calmly. How is this possible? He asked. 14 million in 3 days? She did not rush her answer. This is what happens when you understand how the market moves. She made it sound simple, inevitable. That night, Tunde could not sleep. The money was real. The profit was real. The system worked. Everything he had doubted suddenly made sense. Something inside him shifted. He stopped seeing Amaka as just the woman he loved. He began to see her differently. She not only had the key to his father's kingdom, she came with her own kingdom too. Tunde told his family he had found someone special he wanted to marry. Chief Roberts listened without interruption. Then he nodded slowly. Good, he said, you've done well. Tunde exhaled. Chief Roberts leaned forward. I need details, he said. Who is she? What family? Who are we joining with? Tunde hesitated. This was the delicate part. Her name is Amaka, he said carefully. She's Chief Olatunji's daughter. Chief Robert's interest sharpened. Amaka K? I have never heard of Amaka. Or do you mean Ronke? No, Dad. Her name is Amaka. She grew up with her mom in Port Harcourt. The realization of whom she was ran across his face, and he responded, relaxing his tensed shoulder. Ah, okay, she is the outside child. Tunde felt a bit insulted by that description, but he just wanted the conversation over. Why has Chief not mentioned your union to me? His father watched him closely. Her father doesn't know about me yet, Tunde said. She's afraid to tell him too early. She wants to be sure I'm serious. Tunde did not mention that they were quite serious and had just had a secret engagement. Chief Robert's eyes narrowed slightly. And when will she convince him? He asked. Soon, Tunde replied quickly. She's working on it now. Chief Roberts did not respond immediately. Then he spoke. Okay, let's give her time. Tunde heaved a sigh of relief. That difficult conversation was over. Tunda was now focused on Amaka. He would do everything in his power to get Amaka to the altar. Amaka was the key to his father's kingdom. Amaka mentioned the next opportunity casually. They were in bed when she said it, like it was an afterthought. There's another opening coming, she said quietly. Bigger than the last one. Tunde turned toward her. How big? He asked. She paused. 120 million, she said. Maybe more, if you can raise it. Tunde exhaled slowly. That was serious money. And the returns? He asked. At that level, she replied, 80 to 90 million in about 2 weeks. She did not hype it. She let the numbers speak. Tunde thought about the 14 million. 3 days. He thought about what 80 million would do. His father, his reputation, his future. I can get it, he said finally. Amaka did not rush him. She nodded once. Only if you're sure, she said. This is not play money. Over the next week, Tunde worked the phones, liquidated accounts, moved things around quietly. When he was ready, he told her over breakfast. I have it, he said. 124 million. She set down her cup and looked at him. You're certain? Yes. Then we move today, she said. The window closes by end of business. She wrote the account details carefully on a piece of paper. Tunde logged into his banking app. He remembered the first transfer, how nervous he had been. He was calmer now. When he was ready, he pressed send. It's done, he said. Amaka took his hand. Nice one, she replied softly. In 14 days, his phone buzzed. Another bank alert. 204 million naira, 80 million naira profit. He stared at the screen. The money was there. The pattern was clear. What happens next? He asked Amaka. There was a pause. That, she said, depends on how far you're willing to go. After the second payment, something shifted completely in Tunde. He stopped questioning. He stopped hesitating. He began to imagine himself differently, not as the disgraced son trying to repair his name, but as a man who had figured things out, a man ahead of his time. When Amaka spoke, he listened closely. When she cautioned him, he trusted her more. Twice, he wanted to invest more, but she told him that it was risky. He listened to her. They talked about the future often now, the wedding, the house, the life they would build. Tunde felt steady, secure. For the first time in a long while, he believed he was becoming the man his father wanted him to be. And Amaka watched carefully. She noticed how easily confidence replaced caution, how desperation had quietly turned into certainty. She adjusted nothing. She rushed nothing. She waited. One afternoon, they were out at a local Lebanese joint in Ikeja. There's something I need to tell you, she said. This one is different, she continued. A major institutional fund. How major? He asked. She did not answer immediately. 600 million naira, she said finally. Minimum entry. Tunde went still. 600 million. That was not casual money. That kind of investment, she added, runs on a 6-week cycle. He swallowed. And the returns, he asked carefully. At this level, she said, 400 million naira profit. She let the numbers sit between them. 400 million. This kind of opportunity doesn't wait, she continued. If you want in, you need to be ready. If not, we stay small and continue to grow slowly. She was giving him an out. That made it feel safe. I'll get the money, he said. She smiled into her drink. I know you will. It had been 5 weeks since Amaka had moved out of the Adetunji residence. Tunde raised the issue that had been weighing on him. Amaka, when will you tell your father about me? He asked one evening. We can't keep pushing this forward without him knowing. Amaka listened carefully before she replied. It's not that simple, she said. My father is very particular. With everything that happened in America, I have to approach him carefully. She paused, then continued. What would help is this. Let me meet your family first. Once your family gives the approval, I can go to my father and tell him the union already has your family's backing. That will make the conversation easier. Tunde understood her reasoning. The following day, he spoke to his father. He explained that Amaka wanted to meet the Roberts family first before involving her own father. He admitted it was unusual, but reminded him that the situation was complicated. The scandal had made everything delicate, and Amaka was being cautious. Chief Roberts listened without interrupting. When Tunde finished, his father sat quietly for a moment. All right, he said finally. We'll do it that way. He thought briefly, then added, I'm traveling to Ghana for a week. When I return, we'll fix the meeting. He looked at Tunde. 2 weeks. That gives everyone time to prepare. Tunde nodded, relieved. They sat together in the living room, papers spread across the table. The deadline is Friday, Amaka said. That's when the window closes. I know, Tunde replied. I just need a few more days. The money will be ready by Friday. She watched him carefully. Are you sure? Yes, he said. I've spoken to my father. That part made her look up. He was skeptical, Tunde admitted. I couldn't give him full details. I knew he wouldn't believe everything if I told him too much. So what did you say? She asked. I told him I would explain everything once this deal is through, Tunde said. I promised him complete transparency after. I showed him proof of the last 2 payments. Amaka nodded slowly. That helped, Tunde said. He still wasn't comfortable, but he could see the results. They sat quietly for a moment. And the family meeting, Amaka asked. In 2 weeks, Tunde said. My father confirmed it again, once he's back from Ghana. By Wednesday, Tunde was restless. He paced the apartment while Amaka sat on the sofa, watching him. My father has agreed to release part of the money, he said finally. Not everything, just some of it. That's enough, Amaka replied calmly. Once the rest comes in, we move. It will be complete by Friday morning, Tunde said. I'll make the transfer first thing. She reached for his hand. You've done well, she said. I know this hasn't been easy. He exhaled. I just want this to work. Once it does, everything changes. Yes, she said softly. Everything changes. Later that evening, Amaka's phone rang. She glanced at the screen and stood up. It's my mother, she said. Let me take this. She walked into the bedroom and closed the door. When she came back, her face had changed. What happened? Tunde asked immediately. My mother isn't well, Amaka said. She's been hiding it from me, but it's gotten worse. I need to go to Port Harcourt. When? He asked. Friday, she replied. I need to be there. Tunde did not hesitate. I'll take you to the airport, he said. We'll sort everything out. She looked at him, touched. Thank you. I'll be back on Tuesday, she added, as soon as things settle. He pulled her into a hug. Family comes first, he said. We will be fine. Amaka rested her head against his chest. She knew it was time to move. Friday morning, Tunde drove her to the airport. At the boarding gate, she turned back. I love you, she said, smiling. I love you too, he replied. He watched her walk away, already imagining their future. That afternoon, Tunde made the transfer, 600 million naira. He checked the details carefully. Then he pressed send. The money left his account. 10 minutes after the transfer, his phone rang. Hi, baby, Amaka said warmly. I am at my mom's. That's great. Oh, by the way, I transferred the money, Tunde said. Oh, thank you. I haven't checked. I was focusing on my mom. I will call you again. I love you, she replied. I love you too, he said. Over the weekend, Tunde spoke to Amaka constantly. He told her how much he loved her, how relieved he felt, how excited he was about Friday. Amaka answered every call. Her voice was warm, familiar, reassuring. She sounded tired but affectionate, grateful for his concern. She told him she missed him, that she could not wait to be back, that it was just a few more days. On Tuesday, she sent a message. My flight has been cancelled. Coming back on Thursday. Tunde replied immediately. No worries. Send me the details. I will pick you up. That won't be necessary. Dad is sending his driver. I will be at his house. Sounds like a plan. I will pick you up on Friday evening. Thursday passed quietly. Tunde expected a call that evening, and when it did not come, he told himself she was resting or with family. He went to bed uneasy, but not alarmed. On Friday morning, he tried calling her phone. It rang once and then went dead. He tried again. The number was unavailable. A cold discomfort settled in his chest. Not panic yet, just the sense that something was off. He told himself there were explanations, network issues, a dead phone, a long night, but the feeling would not lift. He kept calling. The phone remained unreachable. By mid-morning, the silence felt deliberate. Without overthinking it, Tunde got into his car and drove to Chief Adetunji's house. He parked and walked inside quickly, his movements controlled but urgent. Jonah was in the living room. Tunde asked, Jonah, where is Amaka? Jonah looked at him, confused. Amaka no longer lives here. I know that, you idiot. She said she was coming back here today. Coming back from where, sir? Tunde felt a flicker of irritation. This man, are you mad? Are you okay? I said, where is Amaka? He starts shouting. Before Jonah could respond, Chief Adetunji walked into the room and asked, Young man, why are you shouting? What is going on? Sir, I am looking for Amaka. I can't reach her on the phone. Chief Adetunji frowned. Amaka, why on earth are you looking for the house girl? The words did not register at first. Tunde was confused. Is everyone going crazy here today? He thought. What house girl, sir? Chief Adetunji looked at Jonah and then looked at Tunde in confusion and exasperation. You said you are looking for Amaka. Amaka was our previous house girl. Why are you looking for the house girl? He turned to Jonah again. Is that not so, Jonah? Amaka left months ago. Her father was ill. The room went quiet. Tunde repeated the word, housemaid, slowly. There was no accusation in his tone, only confusion. Something inside Tunde shifted. The secrecy. Why she did not want anyone to know. Why her father was always about to be told. And then the realization landed fully. The transfer, 600 million naira, already sent, already gone. His chest tightened, not with panic, but with a cold certainty. He nodded once and said quietly that he understood. He looked at Chief, who still looked confused. Tunde, what is going on here? Without another word, Tunde turned and walked out of the house. Outside, he sat in his car for several minutes before starting the engine. It was only then that his hands began to shake. By the time he reached his apartment, the truth had settled completely. Amaka was gone. The money was gone. There would be no Friday meeting, no family introduction, no future. That night, Tunde sat alone in the dark. His phone rang repeatedly. His father, his mother, his siblings. He watched the screen light up and go dark again, but he did not answer.
What remained was not rage, it was humiliation. There was no one to blame. He had chosen to believe. He had trusted a woman because she made him feel redeemed, as though he was finally becoming something worth saving. All the while, she had been watching him, measuring him, waiting. He had not been outplayed by a master criminal. He had been undone by a woman who understood one simple truth. A man desperate for redemption will ignore every warning. He will see only what he wants to see. And Amaka had given him exactly what he wanted to see.
Where are you viewing from? If this story held your attention, please like and subscribe for more stories like this.